Happy birthday, Mothra! The Queen of the Monsters recently celebrated the 60th anniversary of her debut film, that of course being 1961's classic monster motion picture, Mothra, a film that its director, Ishiro Honda, considered one of his best works. The character's more than a dozen on-screen appearances in both television and film has made her a beloved bug all around the world. And as one of the legendary monsters of Japanese tokusatsu, it is kinda cool to know that a little bit of Mothra found its way into the creation of another one of Japan's most iconic insects. But before we get to that, for the love of Godzilla, punch that subscribe button to Monstrosities, a vlog of tokusatsu. Your valued viewership continues to genuinely help us plan, research, and produce videos like this one and others. Kamen Rider stands alongside Ultraman and Super Sentai as one of Japan's most popular tokusatsu superheroes to this day. It started with 1971's Kamen Rider, a very tightly budgeted production put on by Toei, and it later exploded in popularity, causing the Henshin Hero television boom. Not bad for a production that its own staff didn't think would be a hit. Doing the special effects with the first generation Kamen Rider was X-Pro, a company that is still in business and currently run by Tsutomu Yagi, whose first job in the company was on the production of Kamen Rider. Tsutomu Yagi's very first memory of being on a film set was for Godzilla Raids Again. In an interview, he recalled being mesmerized by the model fighter jets that were suspended by wires that would later appear invisible on film. But why was he there at 4 years old? Because Tsutomu Yagi literally comes from a tokusatsu dynasty, the Yagi clan having worked on some of the biggest and most legendary tokusatsu franchises ever. Tsutomu Yagi's grandfather, Kanju Yagi, helped create the original Godzilla suit in 1954. His father, Masao Yagi, also worked on Godzilla and went on to do modeling for Gamera and Daimajin over at Daiei. It was after Kanju Yagi passed away in 1966 that Masao Yagi and the team of artists and professionals they had come to work with on previous productions founded X-Pro, and they would go on to work on projects like Ultraman and even international productions like Yongary in the late 1960s before eventually landing Kamen Rider. In addition to the Yagi family, Keizo Murase was also a founding member of X-Pro. Keizo Murase is probably best known to kaiju fans for his work on the independent film Howl Beyond the Fog, which is currently available through the label SRS Cinema, but his suit-making and modeling roots go all the way back to the late 1950s, where he worked for Toho Studios on tokusatsu science fiction spectacles like The H-Man and Varan. For Kamen Rider, Murase worked on both the suits for Kamen Rider Ichigo and Nigo, and if you look deeply enough into the windows of Kamen Rider's soul, you may just see a little bit of the Queen of the Monsters reflected back. To create the insectoid compound eyes of Kamen Rider, Murase employed the same exact technique he did back in 1961 when he designed Mothra's big beautiful blues. He described the process of creating Mothra's eyes to Uchusen magazine back in 1992. At that time, it was very difficult just to create this compound eye. It would be weird to just make a hemisphere out of transparent resin and drill holes in the surface. At that time, I went to a pachinko parlor, which I was crazy about. When I saw the pachinko balls in the case, I thought, okay, I can use that. If you look at it from the bottom, the front is flat and the back is bumpy. I immediately prepared a round towel, spread clay inside it, and made holes with pachinko balls. I then cut out the mold and poured transparent resin into the mold to create the compound eye. When I shone a light on it from the back, it looked beautiful. I was like, this is it. On an editorial note, it really is kind of beautiful to think that Japan's most famous insect hero has the eyes of Japan's most famous insect kaiju. Apparently, similar techniques are still done to this day by cosplayers when they make the compound eyes for their elaborate Kamen Rider costumes, which only proves in my mind how smart and resourceful the original artisans of tokusatsu were to create a special effects technique that still sees modern practice. That's all for now, but again, please punch that like and share button for this video and subscribe to Monstrosities Tokusatsu Vlog. I cannot stress enough how important your continued support is in allowing us to continue to produce videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and for Mothra's sake, keep watching Tokusatsu for the good of mankind and yourselves.